last week we made this beautiful card, and I said to you that we would make an envelope box for it. So we're going to make an envelope box for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure it, and it measures 7 1/4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to make a box that for that size. So I've got my envelope, it's my We Are Memory Keepers envelope box maker. It's a 1, 2, 3 punch board, and we're going to have a look on here, and it will tell me on here that I can make a card at 5 1/2 by 7 1/2. So I'm going to make my card box 5 1/2 by 7 1/2, which means I need a piece of card. Oops, you can't see what I'm doing here. Sorry. So I look down the list here, and I see that I can do this at 5 1/2 by 7 1/2, and I'd much rather it be a little bit bigger than a little bit too small. So that means I need a piece of card that measures 10 1/2 by 10 1/2 square, and we're going to score this on the 4 1/2 inch mark. So let's pop this out of the way for a moment, and let's bring in my trimmer, and I'm going to trim my piece of card down. Now this is not Stampin' Up card, but it is a nice orangey colour, so I'm going to cut this at 10 1/2. Oops, come out of there, by 10 1/2 inches. Now I know I've shown you how to make boxes, envelopes before, but I think that it's great to have a refresher every now and again. It does actually help. So popping that card out of the way for a minute and bringing in my scoreboard, pulling out my scoring tool for this. This board is good because it actually has an extended arm down here, so you can actually score longer pieces of card. Now, as I said, this was a 5 1/2 by 7 1/2 side, and we're going to score it at 4 1/2. Now, on my scoreboard here, it tells me for making an envelope, a box envelope, you also score on your B line as well as your A line. Now, here is my thing, and this is my A line, and next to it is my B line. So I'm going to pop my card in here at the 4 1/2 inch mark, and I'm going to punch it, and I'm going to score it at my 4 inch, whoops, and then with my other one at the next one over. Alright, this is quite hard card to see, so when we pop this in here, we're going to line this up so that this score line here, this one here, lines up with this muck here. Okay, and then we're going to punch it again. Oh, and we're going to score my 2 lines. So I'm going to do them a couple of times so they're nice and hard. And then we're going to turn it again, and we're going to line that up there. Oops. I think I should have lined it up at the second line, not the first line. Oh no, that's correct. At the first line there. So, and we're going to score it again. And then we're going to turn it one more time, and we're going to line it up again at that score line. And we're going to then we have all our score lines on our card like so. Can you see those score lines? They look really good on there. Let me pop this away. And we're going to turn this around, and we're going to round the corners on it all. Probably if I can get it in there. It will just give a nice finished edge on our card box. Now I'm not going to decorate my card box. Oops, that's it. My envelope box, because we're only just doing the showing you how to do it. You can do it then anyhow you like. So what we need to do is we need to turn it over and we need to burnish on all these score lines. So the first score line and the second score line on all 4 sides. So we're going to go right around the card like so. And there we have our basic card. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to just, if your score line is like mine, a little bit out on one side, just trim that bit off so it's out of the way, and then it will fit together very, very nicely. So for me, I find that I like to pop my scoreboard back into here to bring this over to pop my sides on, because it actually makes it easier to get them together. This is just my preference. It's not like it's anything that has to be done. So let's move that out of the way for a minute, and we're going to put on our red liner tape because we want something nice and strong. And we're going to pop it along the side edges. Ouch. On both of our side edges, on that one and on this one. So we're going to push that down nice and hard. And now I'm going to, as I say, I'm going to bring in my board and I'm going to just pop it into the middle roughly and bring that one over so that it sits into that corner nicely, but not pushing it out. So we want it to come in so that it's nice and square in this corner here. Once we know that it is nice and square, we can pull off our release tape if it wants to come off. Oops, there we go. And keeping that corner nice and square, again, bring that one over to sit on the top. Once you're happy with that, you can pop that out, and it's just using your hand to go in to bring it down nice and neat. Now we can do exactly the same on the other side, so we have to turn the board around. And this one is a little bit more difficult because of the size of this envelope. But it will still go in there and pull that one over nicely. So once you're happy with that, if not, you can always use something like your ink pad or anything that's that sort of height. For me, that's a little bit bulky for that one. So I'm going to try my scoreboard. Nope, that's not going to go in there either. It's all too high. So what we're going to do is we're going to just pop this one off. So if you don't feel confident doing it that way, you can just pop that off, and then you bring these corners together nice and neatly. Bring that one over onto the top of that one, and just using your hand on the inside to make sure that your tape has gone down nice and hard. And you have your box envelope. Get off my finger. That's our box envelope. Now how gorgeous is that? Very easy. You can now decorate that to your needs, and your card will fit in there perfectly because you've measured it. So it's going to be bulky still, but just pop a little bit of tape on here and your card is ready to use. I hope that has helped you, and as I said, it's really easy to do, so give it a go. When I photograph the box, I will have already decorated the front of it, so you will be able to see what it looks like. And I hope you enjoyed that little bit of a tutorial on how to do the box to go with the card. and I will see you again next week. Bye for now.